Hey yo, welcome into a brand new episode of the Review at Rob Show. Appreciate you hitting that play and coming over here to hang out with me, man, in the movie realm. Over here, man, we're gonna be talking about all kinds of fun things in film that I will be reviewing on this week's episode. Spoiler free, as always, it's gonna be the brand new one from Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. This one is titled Sinners, man. This one's getting a lot of praise, a lot of rave reviews, man. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the film as well. We got some news, man. We got Godzilla stuff to talk about. We got two things about Godzilla to talk about, as well as some other fun news to get into, man. So appreciate you coming over here to hang out with me. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe over here as well. I do have the Wolfman Rob Show channel where I do the Halloween Horror Night show, man. So I appreciate you as always giving me any support. I love doing these shows. They're both passion projects. Without further ado, you are here to hear a review, man. So Sinners, the film that is sweeping the nation at the moment, is the poster right there. So for the film Sinners, again, this is the new one from Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, the dynamic duo that they are. It is rated R for sexual content, language, and strong bloody violence, running in at 2 hours and 17 minutes. Film is classified as a horror, mystery, thriller, drama film. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers, played by Michael B. Jordan, return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back, man. So there you go. That's just your synopsis and all that stuff. Pretty vague synopsis, right? Doesn't give you away too much stuff. You know that Michael B. Jordan will be playing two characters, twin brothers, that are coming back to their hometown, and that there's an evil lurking somewhere, but you don't know much about what that evil is. However, if you've seen the trailer, you do know what that evil is, and that evil is vampires. So, vampires is the world that they are traveling into with this movie and all that stuff. So, right up front, um, sexual content in the movie. I think it's been overly played online and all that stuff. There's some, there's sexual content in the film, of course, but it seems like people are making it like overly nasty and all that stuff. Nothing too much that you haven't really seen before in horror movies and all that stuff. So just forewarned and all that stuff. But yes, bloody violence. We're dealing with vampires in this film, but we're doing with a lot more than vampires in this movie. To be honest with you, the vampires don't show up for a while in the film. To be honest with you, it takes a little bit. I don't know the exact point because I saw it in theaters and I wasn't looking at my phone, obviously. But the film um, centers around again Michael B. Jordan's twin brother characters coming back to town and all that stuff. So the good portion of the beginning of the movie is where we meet those characters, their backstory, but it also tells the story of their cousin Miles, who's played by Miles Clayton in this movie. Is debut acting role for him, and let me tell you, fantastic, like fantastic performance by this person who's debuting. I mean, if this is what they're doing in their debut performance, mother of God, they're going to have a great career in front of them, man. So that's kind of like the majority of the beginning of the film. We're getting introduced to these characters, mostly the Sammy character, right? We're getting introduced to that character mostly. The twins come back into town and all that stuff. They meet up. They are in town to create a juke, which is a fun area for music and dancing and sweating and all that stuff. and as they put it in the film and all that. So that's kind of your basic idea of the film. While they're doing that, the vampires hear the music that's going on. They come over there, and then all hell is upon us at that point. Um, it's an interesting idea, man. Like it's a very interesting idea. Like I'm into horror. You already know this if you've been with the show for a while. Um, Especially love vampires, and if there's like a movie with Michael B. Jordan or a vampire in it, I'm on, with the exception of like Twilight, um, and not necessarily a big shot at Twilight, but Twilight's not a traditional vampire movie. They did their thing; it worked out for them. Whatever, moving on. But that's always like a draw for me and all this stuff. And I remember hearing bits and pieces about this movie leading up to it and all that stuff. And it's like vampires, that's cool, man. I can't wait to see what Ryan Coogler and freaking Michael B. Jordan do with a vampire film. Like that's very intriguing, very interesting. This movie was one that was definitely on my anticipation list for the year and all that stuff. And I went to the theater, and the theater was freaking packed, man. Like so much so that like halfway through the trailers ads, they turned them off. They turned the lights on in the freaking theater, and they had one of the workers coming there checking people's tickets because people were sitting in seats that didn't have tickets and all that stuff. Like this movie is a high property right now. Like people are really clamoring to see this. Like I can't remember the last time I went to see a movie in theaters that was extremely packed. Like maybe Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know about that stuff. Maybe that one, but I don't even think it was as packed as this one. Maybe it was because I had to get some weird seats for that one. So maybe that one. Beetlejuice had a really good crowd as well. But it's a freaking very well taken off movie at the moment. Like it's doing great business and very well deserved and all that stuff, man. So getting into that, those things I got into, what I didn't know that I was getting into was something so really, really cool and awesome. Like I love blues music, and I didn't get into the idea that where in this movie would be dealing with a lot of blues music, and that not only would we be dealing with blues music, that blues music would be a formidable part of the story throughout the whole film. Like not just a moment point like here or just when they're at the juke or anything like that. Throughout the movie, blues music is very central to the story that is being told in this whole film. And I freaking love that to death because again, I love blues music and all that stuff. There's a bit of a vibe in here where we're playing with the Robert Johnson idea. If you don't know Robert Johnson, of course, the man famously in the story that sold his soul to the devil to become, famous and all that stuff. That was a something I was not expecting to get into with this movie. Not to necessarily say they did that storyline, but they did. It has that kind of vibe to it and all that stuff. As before mentioned, thriller, mystery, drama film. Bit of a western look to it as well. There's a bit of a western thing going on with this movie and all that stuff. Just like filming, cinematography wise, not like straight up western movie or anything like that, obviously. But you get the vibe with that stuff. Just other classic stories you can get into and all that stuff. Like, oh my god, like just picking up on things and remembering, like there's a movie I saw on Netflix, which is a classic story as well, called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and all that stuff. You can get that vibe in this movie from that as well. Like you can feel and pick up on these certain stories and all that things that they do very well of molding together. Like Ryan Coogler is freaking awesome. Like give that man any movie in the world and he's gonna deliver, like for sure. Especially if he's teaming up with Michael B. Jordan, because again, dynamic duo. Those two hit it out of the park every single time when they work together. So the vampire aspect of this film, we talked about the great beginning story, and we meet the characters, we get little bits of their backstory. Like there's more lore to their backstory that there's not really talked about or anything like that. You have to like pick up on Easter eggs and all that stuff, or find things online and hearing other people talk about it and all that stuff. Which could be like a prequel they do later or something if they wanted to. But we get little bits and pieces to really kind of understand their characters a little bit, just a little bit throughout the film and all that stuff. All of them, like all the characters have their from the twin brothers to their cousin and all that stuff. Great stuff. The freaking blues man, all that great stuff, man. Like there's just so well put together, like story wise, perfection. The way they make it all work out. The vampire aspect and horror aspect of the film, again, comes in at a later point in the film, probably maybe midway. Again, I wasn't looking at time while watching this movie. I was sucked into the film, man. Like the film is 2 hours, 17 minutes, I believe I said a moment ago. Didn't feel like it at all. Like I was captivated from the beginning. Again, love blues music. So just hearing blues music playing in the film was awesome. You add in the story that's being told here, picking up on like other stories I've heard or seen movies about as well. And all that aspect, like they all meld very well and it makes it for an easy ride to where we get into the vampire aspect and it's just so well done and so like classic horror with like a newer look vibe to it, but like a classic vibe that you would get with vampires, to where they are sinister, they're dark, you can't trust them, and they follow lores and all that stuff about the vampires and everything. So that's why I kind of took an unnecessary shot at Twilight earlier, but the still necessary Twilight shot. It's not like that, Ryan Coogler is following the rules of vampires and everything in this film. And anytime they're on screen, they got that vibe, man. Like they got that vibe. They got their music. They got their own things going on and all that stuff. Talking around myself, not to spoil anything, but there's some good stuff that's done with those vampires, and it does get bloody, it gets crazy, it gets insane, and all that. But it never loses its formal aspect of what that movie is at any point in time, even when you're adding vampires into it and all that stuff. Like it never loses its heart, it never loses its edge, it never loses its story, and never sacrifices anything to add in the vampire characters. Like all of it makes sense to the overall creation of what's being made here with Sinners. So overall, movie is fantastic, man. The cast, oh my god, every single one of them's great. Michael B. Jordan playing two roles here, does a great job in both of them. Again, we just mentioned, uh, gonna mess his name up. I had the cast pulled up a moment ago, and then I closed it like an idiot because that's how I work. Um, we have, oh my gosh, we have Miles Caton, who is apparently in his first acting debut. Incredible. Didn't even talk about Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld is She's always been talented. Like I've run into Haley Steinfeld a couple of times, most notably Pitch Perfect, those films, and then of course she was in Bumblebee, and she's had a really good career. I mean, I think her first acting role she was nominated for an Oscar, right? So she's incredible, and she's an incredible singer as well. So her performance in this film is different than anything we've kind of seen from her. And I think that's maybe why a lot of people have gone over the edge with the sexual content stuff. It's still wild stuff, but nothing that necessarily you probably haven't seen before in horror movies or movies in general. But they they have her playing this great character as well, and just of everybody's doing a great job. She's fantastic. Looking at Haley Steinfeld, she's great. She's a megastar. Trying to find Jack O'Connell, who's playing our main vampire in the film, Remick. Awesome, absolutely great performance. Everybody in this movie is freaking fantastic, man. Woomy, Omar, Jamie, Delroy Lindo playing Delta Slim, dude. Buddy freaking Guy is in this movie. This movie is incredible. Like, this movie is incredible. It's awesome. It's fantastic. And it's one of those things I always talk about where you see a film early in the year, it's like, oh, this is going to be number one all year long for me, Land. Like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen to it. Here we are in April. I'm now having a battle at my up top. We got a three-movie battle going on right now for like which one is my favorite film so far this year. And we still got more stuff coming later this year, man. We got freaking Megan 2.0 coming. We got Superman coming. We've got Jurassic World on the way, man. Like, there's big stuff that I'm highly interested in and hopeful for, and highly anticipating all that stuff. But this film right here is guaranteed to be in my top 10, I'm sure, because this is one of those just absolutely incredible masterpieces that I was glad to see in theaters. Works out great. Love the soundtrack. Performances across the board is perfect. The story is fantastic. Like, it's perfect. And I love to see the reaction that it's getting. And again, give Ryan Coogler and freaking Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, everybody in this movie, give them out all the stuff. Let them have all kinds of things because they deserve it. Like, they're fantastic. They're awesome. I can't freaking talk highly about this movie enough, to the way that they just make everything work without sacrificing a single thing. Like, this movie, no complaints. There's two credit scenes, by the way. There's two credit scenes. Interpret them how you want, but there are two credit scenes in this film and all that stuff, man. So I absolutely love this film. I'm clamoring to go see it again. Maybe I go see it in theaters again. I don't like being around a lot of people, to be honest with you. Anytime I'm a claustrophobic person, so I always try to find like the seat that's away from people the most, or up top where my Regal. I don't know if other Regals do this, but my Regal, there's like this big section where I guess to not they don't have seats there because it's like right there by the projector and all that stuff. So I guess to not have people sit under it and like mess with the projector. I don't know why it's like that, but I always pick the one that's like right there by the bar so I can like be not. It's a claustrophobic thing, but I love to see how popular this film has been though. So if I get a deal with like seats being uncomfortable or whatever, fine, whatever. I'll deal with it. See this movie again because I do want to see it again. Now, of course, this week we do have Thunderbolts coming out, which I already have my ticket for. Going to be talking about that on next week's episode, but definitely got to figure out a way to see this movie again in theaters because it deserves it. Like, it's fantastic. It's awesome. I can't wait to see it again. Again, blasting the soundtrack. Absolutely love the soundtrack. I'm a blues guy, man. I love blues music. So, yes, overall, Sinners, well worth the praise that it's getting. High grades. I don't look at Rotten Tomatoes, but I believe it's like a 98 or something like that. It should be 100. Like, it's fantastic. It's an awesome film, man. And then we're at the end of April at the recording of this episode. We got a couple days left in April, and just like this movie's already in the clamoring for one of the best films of the year. Should be nominated for many awards, but we know the Academy doesn't like horror films all that much. But they did give some love to The Substance recently, so maybe, possibly, this film does deserve, it deserves the praise and love, man. So that is my thoughts on Sinners. Spoiler free, of course. If you saw the film, let me know in the comments what you thought of the film as well. Is it one of your favorite films of the year so far? Is it going to be is it going to be one of those films that's in your top 10 at the end of the year? Maybe, possibly. We shall see, man. But for me, absolutely freaking loved that movie, dude. Loved it so much. What a fantastically well put together movie this is. Go see Sinners. Go see it in theaters. It deserves to be seen in theaters, man. All right. Going from there, let's look into news. And I just got headlines here. I don't need to really go deep dive into this stuff. But I did mention we got two things to talk about with Godzilla, as Godzilla is one of the biggest characters in film history and all that stuff. And they're continuing to make movies for Godzilla. And there's two worlds of Godzilla now that's happening in theaters on the big screen. So most recently, we had Godzilla Minus One, which got a lot of rave reviews, won an Oscar for it as well. Deserved win because it was a fantastically awesome freaking portrayal of Godzilla. Just creepy, scary Godzilla movie. with -1. And then, of course, we have the Godzilla monster verse, I believe they're calling it, films where Godzilla is battling Kong, and we've got all these other characters and stuff like that. Much different vibe over there than the Godzilla -1 film, but both of them are still running and having things going on. So it is being reported that Toho has confirmed Godzilla -1 will be getting a direct sequel. The studio has confirmed a hefty investment towards a international Godzilla strategy. Now, if you remember the Godzilla -1 film, because of the Godzilla versus Kong film, or Godzilla X Kong, whatever it's called, um, because that movie was releasing in America. This movie had like a very short run in theaters and had to get out of theaters quickly, and it took a long time for them to be able to release it on physical media or streaming or anything like that over here in America, United States of America, because of this as well. But the film is getting a sequel, a direct sequel, has been confirmed for it, which is great. I'm glad that they're continuing on in that storyline because that was a very good story. It's one of those films where, normally when you watch these movies, like, I don't want to see these people, get out of here. But they're telling a very good, compelling story with the humans in that film that works very well. So Godzilla -1 will have a direct sequel, which is freaking awesome, man. Can't wait to see that. On the other side of things, Godzilla X Kong is having its own sequel as the MonsterVerse continues on, and they have a casting in here that is very much related to dinosaurs and the history of dinosaurs and all that stuff, with the casting of Sam Neill, who of course, fantastic actor. You know him for many things. You've probably seen him many times in a lot of things, but of course, you know him as Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. Maybe you've seen Event Horizon with him in it as well. If you have not, check that movie out. That movie's freaking awesome as well. But he has been cast. He'll be joining the cast of Godzilla X Kong. Um, no idea what character he's going to play and all that stuff, but that's good for him, man. Like, I'm excited for that. That obviously takes the value up of the film when you add a great character like that into it. Trying to see if there's a release date in this article for it, but it does not. Yeah, no release date has been announced for the untitled Godzilla X Kong sequel. Stay tuned. So we'll have to wait on that one and all that stuff, but they are casting, which means they are getting closer and closer to the goal of making that film. Let's see. Fantastic. Speaking of Oscars, a lot of Oscar talk on this episode, man. Um, Oscar-winning actress Mikey Madison, who won for Nora, was rumored to have a role in the upcoming Sean Levy Star Wars movie, to which she has apparently had talks with and has declined to star in. So, not a good start over there. That would have obviously been a big get for them to have an Oscar-winning performance from really good actress. Like, she's really good. I remember the first thing I saw her in was Scream, but I saw Nora. She's a really good actress, man. Like, Nora on that film, you're gonna feel however you're gonna feel about it. Um, whether or not it was the best film of last year or not, again, up to you. But I think she's a great actress. Everything I've seen her in, does a great job in. So that would have been a good get for them over there in that Star Wars movie. But we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. Sean Levy, obviously, very good at what he does from numerous things. But I mean, come on, come on. Star Wars is interesting, man. I know a lot of Star Wars fans hate Star Wars, so we'll see what happens there. But uh, I'm I'm in the chill vibe. Like, I thought about starting a Star Wars show just for people who like just chill with Star Wars and watch it and all that stuff, because it does seem like that fan base has gotten very hateful of new things that Star Wars releases, and I watch them. And I'm like, I enjoyed it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little more easygoing, I guess. I don't know. And then let's see. Horror realm. There's Aladdin is getting a horror remake. So, they've been doing these Disney films turned to horror lately, and Aladdin is the next one that's getting it. Um, let's see what we can find here on this. Okay, so yeah, this one is a bit different. This one's going to be called Aladdin the Monkey's Paw. Um, a modern day Aladdin inherits an ancient monkey's paw believed to grant wishes, only to discover that every desire comes at a soul crushing price. As those around him fall victim to its curse, he must confront a growing evil and the demonic forces that feeds on every wish made. Interesting concept. Now, these films have been Rough. I don't think this is part of the Pooniverse, which is yeah, I can't help but laugh at that freaking name, man. Like that is the most hilarious choice of a name ever. Um, I don't think it is. It doesn't look like it is. Production begins, Aladdin, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's not saying it's part of it, so no release date yet. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything saying that it is part of the Pooniverse, but whatever. But yeah, we got Aladdin movie comes. Sounds interesting. Like that's an interesting enough concept, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. All right, and then final thing to talk about here is a Killer Clowns from Outer Space remake is apparently officially in the works, and this is apparently coming from Ryan Gosling, who would be on board as a producer of the film. No word on if he would star or not in the movie itself. Um, which of course has led to a lot of people online saying, "Is there gonna be sexy clowns? There's gonna be sexy killer clowns." Um, I don't know. Like I have no idea what to think about that. But it's Killer Clowns is one of those like cult classic horror films. Came out in 1988. Um, I ran into it when the first time I saw it was when it was announced for Halloween Horror Nights 2018 is when when it was announced for that. I watched it in preparation for Halloween Horror Nights. I didn't see it before that time. It's one of those films that like I really enjoyed. It's like extremely stupid. Like let's not hide the fact that it is very ridiculous. It's very much an 80s film. It's very over the top. The dialogue's rough, the acting performances are rough, all that stuff. We know that. But it's still an enjoyable film, right? And the soundtrack, oh, the soundtrack is so freaking good. Um, but yeah, I ran into it in 2018 and then it returned in 2019 for Halloween Horror Nights. There is a rumor that it might be at the event this year that I saw as well. But I love I love those characters are fun. There's a video game that came out recently. I played it a little bit. Those games I have a tough time playing because those games are very much games you play with friends, and I don't have friends. No, I have friends, but I don't know. I don't I've never I don't know. Like I don't think any of us has really tried to get together to play that game. I know we have it, but I don't know. Fun fun concept of a game. But if I get the time to play video games, I'm playing like a story based game or like a WWE game or something like that. Um, Stay tuned. I'm going to try to get some video up of that eventually. But Killer Clowns is what we're talking about. There's been rumors of sequels before with this for a while, and it's just kind of always like fallen flat, and they just haven't gone anywhere. But the interest is there, right? I think Halloween Horror Nights has upped it interest wise and all that, and um, I know I'm looking at the Funko Pops in front of me. I know I have like two of them as Funko Pops, but it's one of those things where it's like Ryan Gosling producing. That's interesting. Like that's going to bring again. He's got name value, right? So that'll bring a lot of attention to it. Um, but what would it be? Will they keep it true to what it is? Will they try to make it more modern and scary and all this stuff like they like to do with a lot of horror films? Don't know. But overall, like it's fun to see those characters coming still being talked about and possibly coming back. Um, like I think that's something to be interested in, to say the least. And I like Ryan Gosling, so overall, I'm into it, man. But that's gonna do it, man. That's gonna do it for this week's episode. So, I gave you my review of Sinners. Go freaking see it in theaters right now. It's worth your time. So incredible. And then we talk news, man. Godzilla news, freaking Killer Clowns news, a little bit of Star Wars talk, man. We're all over the place on this week's episode, but I appreciate you hanging out with me again. Please, if you can do me a solid, hit that like, subscribe, share. If you don't feel like it, that's fine as well. Like you don't have to. Again, I do these shows out of love and out of a passion project, man. So if you want to hang out with me and help support, much appreciated. I also have the Wolfman Rob Show where I talk Halloween Horror Nights. That is on its own channel. If you can find that and support that as well, that'd be fantastic. Into the Fog with Wolfman Rob. Um, and again, another passion project, me just nerding out on stuff I love to talk about. But I appreciate you, as always, coming over here to hang out with me for a little bit, listen to me ramble on about movie stuff, man, even if you made it to this point, hopefully. Thank you. Bless you. But I appreciate you. And I just like to remind you always before I close these shows out that you matter. Like you are important. Trust yourself, believe in yourself. I know life can be a pain in the ass a lot of the times and all that stuff, but just keep battling, keep fighting forward, get through that mess, get through that slop, and you'll be able to, see the world. Like I know it's cliche and all that stuff. When one door opens, it closes, another one opens, all that stuff. Just keep pushing forward and keep going for those dreams and fighting for those dreams because you have the ability inside of you and the capability inside of you to achieve what you should be able to achieve in life, man. So just keep believing yourself, trusting yourself. Do believe that you matter, even in the toughest times of life, that you do truly matter. You are important, and just keep believing yourself, trust yourself, share love with the world, man. But appreciate you as always. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, week, month, year. And as always, like to remind you that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers turn on that light, man. Talk to you all next episode.